I am here at Gallus Outback Cuttings, the Southwest Winter Classic. In the last video, I asked riders what do these horse shows mean to them and why do they come to these events. In this video, I'm going to be asking how long have they been riding their horses for, or how long have they even been a part of this community? And it was really fascinating to hear what they had to say. Here's what they had to say.
So that would be 40 years. I'm 45 and I showed my first cutting horse when I was 5 years old. So I'm sure I rode long before that, but you know, a little kid showing a cutter, it takes a little bit of strength to hold on to. Yeah.
I think I was born in the back of a horse. My dad's a horse trainer. Most of my dad's cousins and family were racehorse trainers. So yes, I've been involved in horses all my life.
Since I was 2, yeah. So I'm not going to tell you how long that is, then they would tell my age. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
You know, I had a paper route when I was a kid, and that's about the only other job I've had. I've ridden horses my whole life, so quite a while.
I've been cutting for 12 years. I'm 81 years old, so my days are maybe limited, but I started riding horses when I was 4.
Riding horses for us was a COVID thing. We started after COVID started because it was an outdoor activity, and turns out that my daughter rides quite naturally, so we're all in.
I've been 10 years riding horses. Started out in northern British Columbia and started off in a bush league. And worked my way up through the big leagues and finally got down here. And now I'm on my way to see if I can win a world title.
I've been riding horses, 36 years. I have not enjoyed every minute of it. I've got blisters on my butt right now, but I've enjoyed many minutes of it.
Probably 12 years, I think.
Wow, 12 years.
Yep.
A long time.
It goes fast.
You've enjoyed every minute of it.
Yes, absolutely. Best job ever, that's for sure.
So I've been showing since, my youngest children are now 28, so they were probably 3 when I started, so about 25 years. Yeah, I was a young mom when I started, and I bought a horse from Gary Belenfant, who had just won the biggest competition called the Futurity on a horse named Pepto Boonsmall. And I went to his place in Texas and bought a horse, and that horse took me from the 500 amateur rider, which is the lowest you could go. I was very green, didn't know anything, I rode him up until the non-pro. He was just a fabulous horse. We called him Little John, and Cheyenne Sugar Doc, and he was famous.
You know, since as long as I can remember, as a teeny tiny little girl, always been drawn to horses, and at some point, probably 4 or 5 years old, got put on my first horse, or might have even been a burro at Knott's Berry Farm, where I grew up in California, and I used to pretty much drag my parents to anything that had a horse or a burro or anything like a horse involved, and would ride at that point. And then at some point, I think when I was 13, I got my first horse, my own first horse. So
what'd you name the horse?
Well, she came with a name. Her name was Lady. And I adored her. She was nothing fancy. Not at all, but it was a big surprise for me. And at Christmas on my 13th, when I was 13. So yeah, she was awesome.
I've been riding since I was a little boy, about 5 years old actually, but not cutting horses. I always wanted to ride cutting horses when I was growing up, but it was too expensive for my family. So when I finally got in a position where I could, I took it up, and here I am. It's been 20 or so years.
I've been riding horses probably for 40 years, and I've been riding cutting horses for about 9. I used to rope and ride reining horses.
I rode as a youth for the Pacific Coast Cutting Horse Association from 1975 to 79, and then I stopped, went through school, and got married and raised kids, and came back to it when my daughter showed interest in horses when she was about 10 years old. I didn't want it to be my thing. I wanted it to be hers. So I wanted her to have the memories just like I did when I was a kid. So I stayed out of it and didn't show until she was pretty much far into it by that time, and helping trainers and loping and that whole bit.
Forever. I have videos of, me being a little kid riding with my dad.
Wasn't that super cool to learn all that fascinating information about horses and how long people have been going to these shows for? Everybody has their own backstory, and it's so cool to just listen and understand how these competitions in the game works. If you haven't seen episode 1 of this documentary series, then go check it out. The card is up above. This is located in Arizona, Tucson, Arizona. If you're a horse person, how long have you been going to horse shows? What's the name of your horse? What do you like about the horse culture? This is Jeff Makes Films. Thank you guys for watching.